Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm recording this video, let's say, in a spontaneous way because I would like to have a talk with all of you about the beginning of my Rc Rally season. As you saw, I did my first two Rc Rallies, one in Czech Republic and the other one in Poland. And I can say that I did a pretty solid performance in both of them. Yeah, in Czech Republic I had to retire my RC model on a stage because hitting a wall I broke one steering block. Meanwhile in Poland, in the second rally, I was very competitive and almost till the end I was fighting for the victory. As you know, last season I was using the Tamiya XV-01. I've been able to win a Rc Rally championship here in Poland using that chassis. And switching from Tamiya into Xray, I already feel, let's say, a step forward. I think that I'm not yet able to use my Xray XB4 at its full potential, but slowly I'm working in order to achieve the maximum performances. Behind me there's a bit of a mess because after the last rally of road I had to disassemble completely my Xray XB4, and also I need to apply some upgrades that, let's say, the chief engineer of this car provided to me. But I'm going to talk about these upgrades in the next video. Yeah, because as you know, this Xray buggy converted into Rc Rally, it's, let's say, a prototype, but it's not made by me. It's made, let's say, by our chief engineer Michał. He is working alone on this project since, let's say, 2 years, and from this season, me, Kuba and Patrick, we are using the same car as Michał. And all together we are trying to improve it step by step. Talking about the first rally of this season, the one that I did in Czech Republic, I was able to fight, let's say, through all the event for the 6th place in the general classification. I was, let's say, on average from 6 to 11 seconds from the best time each stage. And I'm trying to understand what I was missing in order to be able to fight constantly for the top. For sure, I think that the setup of my Xray XB4 for that rally was too soft. In fact, the car was, I think, rolling a bit too much. And maybe I also did a mistake with the differential oils. I started the rally using a 5000 in the front and a 2000 in the rear, and in the morning I was driving in a good way. We started the weather on, let's say, cold conditions with a cloudy weather, but after the lunch break in the afternoon the weather was much better. It was much hotter and we had direct sun on the, let's say, rally stages. And I've noticed that when I was adding power, exiting the corners, the differentials were working too much. The car was drivable, but honestly it was a bit unpleasant to have, let's say, a slow response exiting the corners. In fact, in the afternoon, the, let's say, disadvantage that I had from the first place, it was increasing. Not anymore, let's say, 7, 6, 8 seconds from the lead, but more like from 10 to 13 seconds. Yeah, and also in the 5th stage I did that mistake that I've mentioned before, that let's say had, let's say, a bit of a psychological impact on the rest of the rally, because in the last 6th, 7th and 8th stage I started to be a bit more careful in order to preserve the mechanics of the car. But anyway, for us as a team using the chassis made by Michał, it was a success because Kuba won the rally. I was fighting for the 6th position and Michał was immediately behind me around the 8th place. So what I'm going to do for the next Moravia Cup, which is the championship that I'm doing in Czech Republic, in which you have to use rally block tires for all the events, I think that I'm going to increase a bit the gradation of the differential oils in the rear in order to have, let's say, a bit of a more aggressive response from the rear wheels while exiting the corners. And maybe during the rally, if I will feel that the tarmac is going to be grippy, I'm going to change the springs in order to put some harder ones. So this is what I'm going to do, talking about the technical side of my Rc Rally car. Talking about myself, about my driving style, observing the guys that were faster than me on the rally in Czech Republic, I've noticed that the places where I lose time are the slow corners, because I feel that I have a different approach. Let's say I drive through the corners, let's say like a Formula 1 driver. So it means that I try to have a clean line to make the car rotate in a smooth way in order to enter and exit these slow corners in a clean way. And I think that I do like that because with the XV-01 it's quite hard to drift the car because the rear it turns in a fast way, but it's hard to control. Meanwhile, what I've noticed in the other guys that use different chassis, so the Xray T3, T4 or Cuba that use the Xray XB4 as me, in the slow corners they used to make the car to drift. Here I have a onboard that Cuba recorded while he was driving for fun my car at the end of the rally, and we can actually see how he is approaching these slow corners. So these are my, let's say, first thoughts after the first rally of the season. Meanwhile, talking about the second rally that I did off-road here in Poland, I'm very happy about the result. I was able to place myself in the second place overall. I used the same exactly setup that I used at Moravia Cup, and the car was performing quite well. I just increased the ground clearance, but the only problem that I've noticed is that I was not able to rotate the car in a fast way on the corners, and probably that's because I had a too high rear drop down. So while braking, the rear was not going up enough and the car was having a very stable behavior, which is good on tarmac, but on low grip condition and off-road, at least in my opinion, it's good to have a car that is able to rotate quite fast. So for the upcoming rallies, I'm going to play still a bit with the setup of the car, because I still need to learn how to adapt my driving style to this Xray XB4 and how to, let's say, take the best of it while driving it. But most importantly, for the upcoming rallies, let's say I don't want to be the fastest, but at least I want to be very stable on each stage with my times. What I mean is that if on the first stage I'm going to be, let's say, 5 seconds from the first place driving very well, I want to maintain that disadvantage of 5 seconds on each stage. Because what I've noticed is that right now I'm extremely inconsistent, which means that on one stage I'm very fast, on the other one I'm extremely slow because I do a lot of mistakes or I'm not enough concentrated. Then on the third stage I'm again fast, and so we have, let's say, up and down performances. After that, if I will be able to have stable performances, I will try to get faster and faster. So that's all for this recap. Let me know in the comments what you think about my ideas in order to develop my driving style and my approach on the technical side of my RC car. And remember to leave a like in order to support my channel, and see you next week with a new video. Ciao!